In Pit Lane is proudly brought to you by Online Invent, SEO, web marketing, web design and custom software. It's been called the Battlers Bathurst, endurance racing for the rest of us. The Phillip Island 6-hour relay has grown over its 16-year history to become one of the most popular grassroots motorsport events in the country. Like most major events, however, the past few years have taken their toll, and the current tough economic conditions saw a drop in the number of teams after last year's number of 36. This year, 28 teams face the start that has all the pomp and ceremony of a major international event, albeit on a budget. From the lone piper piping the field to the grid and the national anthem sung, very well as it happens, by the safety car driver. Under blue skies but a bitterly cold gale force southerly, the first field set out at 10 a.m. for 6 hours of on-track fun and competition, where speed isn't everything, but consistency is king. Just about anything can and does run in the 6 hours, from the most modern turbocharged sports cars to classic saloons. Well, you get all sorts of cars down here at the Phillip Island 6-hour relay race. It's part of the excitement of it all. You get everything from the state-of-the-art, current four-wheel drive supercars to the Austin that is right behind me. And Stephen Russell Clark, tell us about this car. This car's got a bit of history, I believe.
I've had it for a very long time. I've been lucky enough to have this since I was in my late teens. And I've been fortunate enough to have a good crew around me, and we've had some time to rebuild it and get it back on the track. So looking forward to some Group N races this year.
So tell us about the car. Where did you find it, and how did you come to get it to the position that it is now?
It was originally built in the early 80s, and it was first campaigned by Tony Hunter, who had a lot to do with Muscle Car Masters and so forth in its early days, and I was a young bloke, and I was actually working for him part time, and I was offered the car. Back then, I didn't even have a licence back at that stage, and I took the car on, and we've slowly developed it over the time to keep it going.
So it's running to Group N specifications. What actually have you been able to do to the car, particularly in the engine department?
Well, lucky enough today we don't fall under the auspices of the fifth category regulations, so we've got a few freedoms with different engines that we can play with today. But normally this would have like a BMC A series at 1098 1100cc engine, which appeared in many BMC cars in the era.
So what's it running this weekend?
We've got a 1293, so the later model midget Sprite derivative of that engine. A little bit more power and a bit more reliable.
So it looks like a great little car to drive. Tell us, how much fun is it?
It's a monstrous amount of fun. Flaggies, all our volunteers here today, you'll always get a wave from them. And I make sure I try and give a wave back when I'm not hanging on too tight.
Now, of course, this event isn't about speed. It's more about regularity and reliability. Tell us, what sort of plan do you go in before the weekend?
Yeah, look, that's actually a really good question. It's completely different to what you'd normally do in a race series where you're basically out there for 15 minutes going as hard as you can for as quick as you can. This is a really relaxing environment and it's a lot of fun. And the track time and the seat time you can actually achieve over this weekend, bang for bucks. You actually can't beat it. It's ridiculously fun.
So how is it scored?
Well, we nominate a time that we're going to consistently do, and not just us, every vehicle and driver here today. Teams consist of up to 6 cars, and the closest we can get to our nominated time, that's how you'll become the eventual winner of the day.
Vince and Barry here with me, both love the show. What brings you back to the 6 Hour every year?
A stopwatch and duties on the wall, just helping out the boys and making sure that they keep their times and they know what's going on.
And are they having the ball this, Vince? Is it one of those things that they're great to be back the last couple of years and racing around the track again? And, you know, anyone can go out there and put a car together these days, can't they?
Yeah, and they're all having a great time, every one of them. And we had a few dramas yesterday, but they're all out again and we're looking really good for today.
What little speed humps did you have yesterday?
Oh, a bit of a brake issue with one of our cars and a few timing issues with some other people, but otherwise we just get these old things, apart from that new Renault thing. The old TRs just keep fronting up day after.
And what sort of other characters other than the Renault you got running out there?
Well, we've got one TR6, 2 TR7 Sprint.
You own you got the trumps up there. We'll have to grab some footage of that in a second.
Yep. So there's a 2 TR7 4-cylinder Sprint motors, 2 TR7 V8s, a TR6, and the Renault.
Right. Have you worked on them yourself, Vince?
No, I just watch and admire and dream of the day that I'm on the other side of the pit wall.
That's right. We're going to love you and leave you. These sausages are almost ready. We're going to grab some. Yes, Barry?
The team is TSOA Victoria, and they've been doing 6 hours for over 50 years.
There you go. Absolute history in the making here. Over 50 years. We hope to get you back here again next year. Not all of his, but I mean, they're 50 years. That's absolutely amazing as well, though, too. Thanks, guys, for joining us on In Pit Lane, and have a great weekend here down at Phillip Island. This beautiful sunshine. Take care, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're here at the 2023 Phillip Island 6-hour relay here on In Pit Lane. We'll have more action from the circuit when we come back right after this break. Don't go away.
I'm here with a very good friend of mine. We catch up quite regularly. We might even belong to the same club from time to time, eat with each other. But I'm down here with Karen here at the Phillip Island 6 Hour, and she's just fresh out of the car. Bit of a rose between thorns today. It's a dado that she's throwing around there, which she's getting quite good at. I've been watching her progress the last couple of years, but she's mixing up with the FPVs out. What's it like out there today, Karen?
Well, for me, very windy. It's beautiful blue sky, but the crosswinds down the bottom of the track are horrendous. So when your car only weighs 750 kilo, you just kind of hang on for a bit. But other than that, it's great. It's a beautiful day to be on the track.
Oh, you could have put me in. I'm dead white. I could have sat in the back and stabilised it for you as well, though, too. Copped the safety car as well, too. You just said when you got out of the car. What did they slow you down to?
Well, the speed they slowed down to at some points was 40, other points was 60 to 80. So we had a couple of laps because a 350Z came off just coming onto the front straight, so they had to dig him out.
Been pretty clean racing all weekend, though. Qualifying, all mucking around yesterday in practice and today. So no major incidents out there. Has been all weekend because you're a driving instructor as well, too. So they all behaving themselves out there?
Relatively, yeah. Pretty much, yeah. Well, there's been no argy-bargy, no biffo, anything like that. We all give plenty of room. I'm in a slower car, so it's just a case of, the other drivers are quite good. They won't, dive bomb at the last minute. We all just give each other a bit of room. So yeah.
Very humble about being slow. She's a very competitive girl, this one. I've known her for a long time. She doesn't stop. But it's great to see so many cars here. We've got Minis, we've got Triumphs, we've got so many different things. You've mixed up in a team with different cars as well, though, too. What brings you down to the 6 Hour?
So I have with the FPV club, we ran in the first 9 or 10 and I was the team manager, and then through my other club, the Dado Club, which is Nissan Datsun Sports Owners Club, I drove.
Really?
Yeah, it was great fun. It was in a GDR that was a little bit too quick, so you had to button off, which is what, so back this year, all the other guys have to almost lift up and button off rather than actually keep going. So their times are normally closer to 149, 150, so they had to learn how to actually button off, whereas for me it was try to go fast and still allow for cars to pass and set yourself a time for today.
Absolutely. Weather's turned it on as well, other than those blustery conditions, but absolutely sensational. Thanks for joining us, Karen. We're going to keep it short and sweet, both of us anyway as well, too. And have a great rest of the weekend and best of luck for the 6 Hour.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
While there were plenty of classics on hand for the Phillip Island 6 Hours, there were more modern cars as well, such as this Subaru BRZ of Greg Cruz. Well, yet again, more variety here at the Phillip Island 6 Hour Relay, and we've got behind us a very, very attractive looking Subaru BRZ. And tell us about the car. I mean, it looks pretty wild with all the wings and the body kit and everything. How modified is it from the stock?
It's relatively stock. I mean, in the engine sense, it's got some Öhlins coilovers, some Elcon brakes, bunch of GK Tech suspension arms, rear knuckles, which just essentially change the kinematics. Bit of a lip kit from APR, and that's it really. No engine mods. It's first time at Phillip Island in the car, but yeah, doing pretty well, doing surprisingly well, or much better than I anticipated. So doing around 2 minutes, or just under 2 minutes, hitting about 210 on the straight, which is probably greater than I expected. But yeah, feeling really good.
So apart from from this event, what do you use it for?
Well, I've only just recently purchased the vehicle, if I'm being honest. But yeah, these sort of fun days, and that's the sort of thing that I'm sort of interested in. So yeah, just hanging out with mates, putting down some laps, and yeah, spending time behind the wheel.
Body kit on it looks really good, and but I mean, looks is one thing. I mean, with the wing on the back and the lip on the front, how much do you think that contributes to the handling?
Oh, I really couldn't tell you, to be honest. I'm sure it helps to some degree, but I think everyone knows 86 and BRZ is really well known for being a great handling, cheap sort of entry level. Out of the box car. So yeah, I couldn't tell you, numbers, but yeah, it does handle great. Yeah, it feels great.
So you're out here for practice today. I mean, what's the strategy behind it? I mean, is this when do you set the times? When do you give the officials sort of the time you're hoping to run to tomorrow?
Oh, I believe it's this afternoon. We give them the time. So we each get a couple of sessions for practice and just sort of lock in the number from there.
So have you got any idea at this stage what sort of time you'd be looking at, that you're comfortable at cruising around at tomorrow?
Yeah, I think I'll probably lock in like a 1:59, probably something along those lines. I've got one more session, practice session left, and sort of make a decision from that. But yeah, probably a 1:59.
So conditions are actually pretty good for Phillip Island in particular today. It's lovely. What allocation is there in terms of if you turn up tomorrow and you've set your time at 1:59 and it's absolutely persistently raining, what happens then?
We will probably lose.
And we found the bright spark out here down here at the Phillip Island 6 Hour. Ray Chalice has joined us here. This is a bit of a lime glaze or a bright lime green. HQ colour, isn't it?
HQ with a bit of a tinge in it. Yes, that's it. It's basically a HQ colour.
And how long have you owned the old rig, Ray?
Oh, this would be for at least 20 years, maybe 25 years. Yeah, it's been out in the circuit, yeah.
And you have a lot of fun? You've been racing it all that time yourself in it?
Yeah, pretty much. My brother started off with it in New South Wales in various hill climb events and did well up there, a few championships and stuff like that. Then I inherited it after riding off another car and inherited it from him. And
you've learnt the lesson as well too, because this is still in one piece.
That's still in one piece, it's one for a while, so yeah, that's been good.
You learnt your lesson as well though too, right?
Yeah, with Tirana, so this is number 3. Yeah, so.
It's a credit to you. She's in pretty good nick, so she's got the red motor. That's the 202, is it, Ray?
202, yeah, 202, yes.
And any work done to it?
Yeah, all the good gear in it, yeah. Somewhere 300 horsepower plus. So yeah, as you've got to keep up with everyone nowadays. So yeah, you've got to have at least 300. So yeah, to be competitive.
The Bathurst 6 hour doesn't go without its trials and tribulations. It is an endurance event, being 6 hours. You all take it in turns, but just a little bit of cooling issues there as well.
Yeah, maybe done a head gasket, not quite sure, but yeah, it could be just pressurising somewhere. So
that'd be the lesser of two evils, though, I think, though.
That's right. So we're just trying to figure it out and keep it going for the weekend. So yeah,
you slapped it again. You're still going to keep running it around.
Oh, we've got to keep running it around. Yeah. Too old to retire. Not old enough to retire yet. So.
Yeah, well, as long as you're still going, it has to as well too, doesn't it, Ray?
We've got to keep going. I've got a good team looking after it and stuff like that. So yeah.
A little bit more behind the scenes here. So what happens here at the 6 hour? The cars come down here into the pit lane. The teams are ready for them. We've got representatives out the front. They pull up in front of their pit garage. They pull a Velcro tab off the front of the screen, and then that is handed to the car that's ready to go out next, and it goes out for its half-hour stint. So that gets stuck to the windscreen, and that's how the relay works between cars.
If there was a prize for the most iconic livery in all of motorsport, it'd be the duck egg blue and orange of Gulf Oil. Not that this classic Mustang of David Livian needs much help at all to be anything other than way cool.
It's a 1966 Ford Mustang. Came to Australia many years ago. I've known the car and the Mustang Club for a long time. Finally got my hands on it, but it didn't look anything like it does now. It had what we kindly call patina. It was chipped and scratched and faded and all that, which made for a great race car. And over the 20 years I've owned it, I've developed it into what we have here now. It mechanically was always very strong. About 5 years ago, I gave it a birthday, and always being a fan of the GT40s and the Gulf livery of the day, made famous by Steve McQueen and the movies he appeared in and the Le Mans race. So it was a perfect time to pay tribute to that colour scheme. So what I've done at the same time as well is replicated a 1965 R model Shelby GT350. The R model was a very rare version for racing that Carroll Shelby made in 1965. There was only 37 made, and they're worth multi-million dollars now. So instead of trying to save up that sort of money, I made a tribute to the car and combined the R model with the Gulf livery, and this is what I have here today.
Well, obviously it looks beautiful and very attention-seeking on the outside, but what's under the bonnet?
Well, it's fully engineered on classic Rego. It's got a 363 Windsor Stroker motor in it, Tremec 5-speed, but it's powerful. Yeah, it goes great, but it's still very tractable, very drivable. I drive it to car shows. We're from New South Wales and Sydney, and we take it to car shows, and I've done tarmac rallies, and I'll jump in it and drive it anywhere in Australia. It is really a really nice balance of performance and drivability. So I love the car. It's a great thing to drive.
So what's it like around Phillip Island? What are your impressions of this track?
I haven't been here for many years. I love the circuit. It is a power circuit. And it's great to have the car stretch its legs around here. It really does perform well around here. There are some pretty high powered light turbo cars here that are hassling me around the corners, but there's not too many that are getting near me down the straight. But it's as you know, it's a regularity event here, and it's all about consistent times. And the car does very well in regularity. I've done Challenge Bathurst for many years, and with the Southern Sporting Car Club in New South Wales, we do a lot of regularity and super sprint events, hill climbs, skid pans, as I said, tarmac rallies. So the car gets used for a lot of different events.
As you say, you've come down from New South Wales and you've got some of your team from the Southern Sporting Car Club. What's the attraction that brings you all the way down here?
Oh, it's just an iconic track. It's a great event. The weather's been kind to us. As you know, down at Phillip Island, it's a lucky dip what you get. But it's been very good so far, and hopefully it will be tomorrow. But it's just a great circuit. It's a great weekend away with the team. We've got 5 cars entered and associated crew helping out. And it's just a great weekend away and great motorsport.
And he's just got off the track. He's fresh, hot and sweaty, and having a good time out there. Come back clean as a whistle there in the Focus. All looking good, except for how's those conditions?
Look, the track's actually, that was my first session out, but the track's, pretty responsive. It's fairly consistent. there's not too much debris on it. The wind doesn't seem to be that much of an issue, really, out on the track. But
Not blowing around the small cars?
not really. I think that thing moves around a little bit anyway, but to be honest. No, it's not. I don't believe it's that noticeable, really, because it's running sort of east to west. It sort of runs in line with everything. It's not so bad. So
We were having a chat earlier. You're at Experience Campaign. You've done 3 or 4 of these. What brings you back to the Phillip Island for the 6-hour relay?
good vibe, good people. The guys who run the event are just amazing. And the team that I do it with, so we actually campaign 2 teams. We're a little team out of, little club out of East Sale RAF base in Sale. So our president, Mr. Paul Lummis, is out there in the 350Z. I think he got a little bit of a tune-up for his driving earlier. So, but which is unlike him. He's a very calculated, bit of a scalpel.
Maybe he's used to racing the roulettes down there at Sale quite often.
Yeah. So no, it's great fun. The car we're campaigning this year is a 2006 Ford Focus with a 2-litre in it.
Any little tweak ups?
It's about 400 or 500 kilos lighter than it should be. It's got a seat in it, and that's about it. I'll let go of a good little secret here. It's got cut AU Falcon front springs in the rear of it. And I don't know if you've seen that very nice aqua greeny coloured BMW burning around the track today.
Just briefly, but we'll try and catch more of it.
I definitely passed him around the outside of turn 2.
Brownie points.
Yeah, a little bit. So it's she's by no means a powerhouse, but it's got half decent tyres on it and just sort of made up suspension. It's actually pretty fun.
Sounds like you're having an absolute ball out there, Ben. So what's the process you do here for the 6-hour relay? You've just mentioned the other cars that you're racing alongside in this one of the 2 teams,
yeah.
and what do you actually have to do for the process of the relay to hand over from car to car?
So we're myself and one of my best friends, other Ben. We're both campaigning the same car, so we send that out. Then we'll have the next car, and then I'll jump in my car, and we basically chuck a car between the 2 of us so that we can get it ready, change the numbers, change Dorian timer, get in, get set up, and go. So we try and run it as regimented as we can. It is like herding cats 90% of the time, but what do you do?
An organised mess, but you have a ball doing it.
Look, couldn't pick a better bunch of guys to be doing it with, to be honest. So.
You mentioned who you're running with, so just an idea for the viewers so they can see what sort of cars that we've got running around with us.
All right, so we've got Grant Allers, the gentleman driver in an E36 BMW over here. We've got Craig Rowley in an R33 GTS T. Ben Ruthberg, my partner driver in my car, and another good friend of mine, James McCoy. This is his first official event. He campaigned with me in that car last year, but I only got 6 laps out of it before I blew a big hole in the motor. So
the wind just kept blowing and the cars kept on circulating as the dedicated army of volunteer marshals and the in-pit lane crew braved the conditions. When we come back, we'll have more from the 2023 Phillip Island 6-hour relay right here on In Pit Lane. Don't go away, we'll be right back.
These sorts of events all have to happen with all the people behind the scenes contributing as well, though, too. And I'm just upstairs on the back of the pits here, with Richard and some of the guys and girls up here checking out some of the live timing they do. So they've got reference points down there just behind out of the southern loop, and they've watched the cars go all the way around the back up to Lukey Heights over here, and they've got a pole they use as reference as well, though, too, and they come down there. So they check the cars out, and they've obviously got their laptops out, and they've got the binnies, they've got binoculars out there checking out all the stuff, and that's how they reference point and check out all the cars out in the circuit and get their lap times as well, though, too. And timing laps as well too, Richard's just telling me. So, yeah, I can't talk too loud. I don't want to interrupt them too much. But, these people behind the scenes here are just as crucial as the guys behind the wheels of the car themselves on keeping those wheels, the 4 wheels underneath their feet, turning over.
Another illustration of the diversity you see here at the Phillip Island 6-hour relay is the Commodore that's behind me now. And I mean, it's not, we're used to seeing plenty of sedans on the road, but not too many station wagons. Tell us about the car.
I bought the car about a year ago from over WA. I drove it home, and then it's been me daily ever since. And then I beat me dad last year in his car, so he said get me own. So I thought I'd take my own out, give me daily a bit of a run, see how that goes around the track, something different, something new.
So this is just your road car?
Yeah, just my daily road car, yeah. No.
So apart from... So in order to get it ready for the event this weekend, what have you done to it?
I had to take the airbags out of it because it was an air ride suspension. Put coilovers back in it. Had multiple hubs put in it because it kept having wheel studs loose. And it's just been dramas after dramas. But yeah, a few little things to tidy up. And she's been good.
As you say, it stands out on the track. What's it like to drive out there?
It's very nice. A lot different than what I thought it would be. But I'm having a bit of troubles with the braking at the moment. It's getting a bit hot, so I get a bit fadey. So I just got to work that out tonight. Hopefully get back on the road tomorrow and see how she goes.
How do you approach an event like this? I mean, it's all about consistency. How do you go about setting the time that you want to run at?
In this car, I'm not real too sure, but in what I was doing in previous years in my dad's car was make sure it's a bit consistent to be in the same gear, same braking zones, just same speed down the straight and in the corners. That's how we go.
So what sort of feedback do you get? I mean, are you allowed to put anything in the car to time your laps or anything, or do you have to just go off the pit board?
Not allowed to have anything in the car to time you. You have to go off the pit board. Yeah, so get whatever they say. They don't really give us much information at the moment. But they then come back and then just get the results offline.
And who are the other people in your team, and what's your team's name?
Team name is Bumper Huggers. So I got my old man in the AU, Kevin Newey in the BA Falcon, and then we got a Subaru that's out on track at the moment with what's his name, Brendan and Jenny in their husband and wife, and then we got another bloke. He's not here today at the moment, but yeah, we got a few cars here. I can't remember what the other car is. I think it's a Silvia. Yeah.
So how many cars can you have in the team?
Up to 6, minimum of 3.
Is there any advantage in having more or less cars?
Yeah, not so much strain on the one car. There's a bit of a strain on me and my dad's car, last year, having the two drivers. Bit of more rush, everything was a lot more hotter. So this time it's a little bit less rush and a little bit easier on the cars.
Well, good luck with it over the weekend. It's great to see the car out there. It looks terrific on the track. But now, Adam, thanks for joining us in pit lane.
No worries, mate. Thank you very much. Have a good weekend yourself.
And we're here at the back of the pits again. We've found history absolutely everywhere here, down here. I'm with Keith McKay, and he's one of the founding members of the Victorian Mini Club, hence the jacket here. And they're running a whole bunch of minis here today, down here, having an absolute ball. Just a little bit of teething problems at the back there, a bit of overheating, was there, Keith?
Bit of overheating, but that's normal with minis.
It is. It's a pretty confined space, but yeah, they're easy to work on if you know your way around them.
Yeah, if you know your way around them, they're easy. Certainly easier than modern cars.
Yeah. And how's the team going down here this weekend?
Oh, we're having our problems. The first car out was actually a Celica, not a Mini, and that went bang on about the second lap, and that's a bit disappointing because that's the car we were using as a backup for everything, because that was going to be the reliable vehicle. But at the moment, the Minis are the reliable ones.
So how many have you got down here? Minis?
There's 1, 2, 3, 4 classic Minis. We've got a new BMW Mini, and we've got an Austin A40 Farina.
Very good. And what sort of lap times would a Mini do around here, Keith?
It depends on the Mini. This one's doing about 2 minutes 20. A good Group N car would be about 2 minutes or less. So it depends on the cars here.
Not too bad for a classic though. It's been around since for almost well over 50 years, some of them, haven't they, Keith?
Well over 50. I've got one at home, 1962, so
that'll never get raced, I bet.
That's over 60 years. No, it is actually. It was a racing car.
Oh, there you go.
It was an ex-Peter Manton car, so back in 1962, I bought it in 1964 off Peter Manton, and I've still got it. So.
And you raced it yourself at some stage, Keith?
I did. I didn't retire. I slowed down for a while, but it's sitting at home ready to go. So.
Well, we're standing in front of a really cool-looking Toyota Starlet here, and first of all, can you tell us your name and about the car?
My name's Glenn. It's my '98 Toyota Starlet. We built it to compete in the Nugget National, so thought we'd come out here to the 6 hour and have a crack.
So tell us what are the specifications? What have you done to the car?
The engine's dead standard. It's a 1.3, makes 50 kilowatts at the wheels, or it did, 2019. So how much of that's left remains to be seen. It's got a set of coilovers, adjustable sway bar on the back. We've caged it out and hit the track.
And there's a wing on the back of it. You know, tell us about the wing. I mean, this is Adrian Newey design, is it?
It's an eBay special. And my dad got a couple of pieces of aluminium on the mill and made the supports for it, sort of TCR-esque rear wing.
So do you think it makes any difference going through the sweeper down into doing corners? Does it make any difference at all?
I hope not. I don't have enough power to pull drag through the air, so yeah.
Well, it's a really interesting car. Tell us, you mentioned the Nugget Nationals. Tell us about the Nugget Nationals. What are they?
Nugget Nationals is like pretty affordable entry track day sort of thing. You're not allowed an engine bigger than 1.5, so there's lots of Echoes, Jazzes, things like that, Civics.
Hyundai Getz.
Yeah, Getzes. There's a few Getzes out there. Yeah, it's a good fun weekend.
Well, I know what I can do with my Getz now once this road going days are gone. So tell us about the meeting this weekend. How have you found it? How have you found the track?
Excellent. It's my first time racing here. Live here, never driven on the track. So it's been fun to finally get out on the track and turn some laps. So.
And is that the attraction of this particular meeting, that the people like yourself can get out and get lots of time out on one of the great race circuits of the world?
Absolutely. Yeah. So much track time. It's amazing.
And what team are you with this weekend?
Team Autobahn Warragul. So.
Okay, well, best of luck for the weekend. Great looking little car, and thanks for joining us in pit lane.
No worries, thanks.
I'm here with Andrew Johnson down here at the back of the pits. And Andrew, you're having a few teething problems. You're holding the Holden flag up for this weekend, though, but something was a bit sticky out there.
Yeah, safety car came out and I had a bit of a stuck throttle. It was sitting on about 3,000 during safety car.
With the foot on the pedal.
Yeah, and I was able to manage it until I was able to come back in. But the last lap, it got to a point where I got stuck at 6,000. So yeah.
Wow. Foot off the pedal and on the brake.
Yeah, it was just a matter of trying to manage that, and coming into the pits I had to shut it down and do and then start it, and go straight up to 6,000, get moving, then shut it off and just do that. And we got back into the pits and had a look at it
in one piece.
Yeah, in one piece.
No one else copped the shunt either.
No. So and as it turned out, it turned out to be the liner in the cable had moved and caused the cable to not return properly. So it was just a matter of pulling the cable out, cutting the liner off, and it's all good. So back out and run again without even losing any time. So
didn't even use the racing tape for that one.
No, it's good. Yeah.
How are you going out there for this weekend?
Really good. Yeah, really happy. The car's running faultlessly except for that one issue. But no, other than that, it's been going really well. So we're really happy with it. So we've been chasing issues with motor issues with it for years, and we've just finally got on top of it.
Nailed it, and you get to have fun with it.
Yeah, so we're finally
a little cable. And
yeah,
that's all right. That's teething problem.
Yeah, we're touch wood. We've finally got to a point where we're doing a full weekend and put it back on the trailer and take it home. It'll do. The VL will do a 149 around here, so it's done a 149 before, but.
Would have done a 130 on the cable stuff.
Yeah, but no, it's our times that we put in was a 156. So I've just been coasting around at a 157, 157 and a half. Enjoying the scenery. Yeah. So I'm just cruising, compared to what it normally does. So so I'm really having a ball.
After starting and running under blue skies for most of the race, those gale force winds blew in some serious rain for the last 10 minutes of the event. But everyone survived without major injury to car or driver. And at 4 p.m, the checkered flag was waved, bringing to an end another edition of the 6-hour relay. In the end, the declared winners were the Panorama Mountain Men, who led home the Doghouse team and the Rev crew. With the appalling weather, there was little time for presentations, postmortems or celebration. After all, next year's 6-hour relay is now less than 365 days away, and planning starts now. In Pit Lane is proudly brought to you by Online Invent, SEO, web marketing, web design and custom software.